Kendall. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Bennett.
I know it isn't easy to get here after work, having to find a babysitter for Annie, but I do appreciate you coming. And as we talked when we decided to have this meeting, I thought it would be helpful for us to get together to talk about how things are going for you and Annie and what the future might bring and how I can be a help to you. Is that your understanding of why we're here?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Sure, yeah. This also isn't meant to be like a one-time visit this way. We could have meetings like this over and over again, depending on how things are going for you and Annie.
Okay.
And when people have structured these kind of visits, they found it helpful to use a set of questions. And I hope that you're okay with me using a set of questions today that we can go through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the questions might not be that easy to answer, and if you feel like you'd rather just pass over them, we can do that.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sure. Also, I thought I might write some notes down as we're doing it, and if that's okay with you, I'd like to just do that.
That's fine.
Great. So let's start out with you telling me about you and Annie as individuals and as a family so that we can make a good plan of care.
Okay. We're doing well. I mean, it's a little stressful right now. My mother has been helping to watch Annie,
Sure.
which has been amazing. But she is thinking she can't do that anymore, so we're struggling figuring out, daycare is probably the best option, but that's pretty scary, and we're just thinking about all the options.
Sure.
So it's pretty stressful.
Yeah, that's a big change for the family then.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your understanding of where Annie now is at with her illness or her condition and what might happen in the future?
Well, I feel like she's doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she seems like a normal kid, and it kind of feels to me like she's better.
Mm-hmm. Sure. How much information about what's likely ahead do you want to learn from me or her other doctors?
Oh, everything.
Okay.
I think it's always better to just know the truth and know what's going on.
Sure. Well, that's good to know what you want. So she is doing really swell right now and is at great 3-year-old, very active, and is doing really well with her development and her energy. But as you know, she did receive a heart transplant, and with that can have some complications. She could get a fever and have some trouble with that, or have some signs of rejection of her heart. So with that in mind, and knowing that, what are your hopes for Annie and you?
We just want to be normal.
Mm-hmm.
Just have normal, fun family experiences. Like, she loves princesses right now. Cinderella, just obsessed. And I'd love to take her to Disney.
Sure.
I'd love to take her to Disney on Ice. Just do all of the fun things that regular kids get to do.
Sure. Okay. So what would be your most important goals for her and you right now, and maybe in the future if they do differ?
I want her to be able to enjoy the normal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want her to go through what she went through when she was a baby in the hospital and surgeries. That was a lot, and she's getting older and she can remember things, and I don't ever want her to suffer like that.
That was a hard time for you. What are your biggest fears and worries as you think about the future with her health?
Well, what you said, getting a fever, rejecting the heart, those would just be the worst.
Sure. What gives you strength as you think about her future for you and her and the family?
We find hope in our regular activities. We love to, go hiking and spend time outside with the dog and just kind of feel comfortable in the natural flow of the world and energy. And we're not religious, but we find comfort in rituals like that.
Great, good. What abilities are so critical to her life that you can't imagine her living without them?
Well, she seems like such a normal kid now. I really can't imagine her any other way.
Sure. Okay. If her condition were to worsen, how much intervention are you willing to go through to give yourselves more time?
I don't know if I can answer that right
Sure.
now.
That's fine. Yeah, she's doing really well right now.
Yeah, she just seems fine.
Good. How much is your family aware of what's going on?
My mother knows what's going on, but
And anybody else extended in the family that you
no,
talk to?
it's just us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. And do you need any help talking to Grandma about this?
No, she's around a lot. You know, she's been watching Annie.
Sure.
So she's in the loop about everything.
Great, good. Well, that actually completes the questions I have.
Great.
Have you thought of anything as we've had this discussion that you might want to ask me about the situation with her or your future?
No, I think you're great at, you know, letting us know what's going on. I appreciate having a chance to think about these things.
Sure.
It's not often that you're prompted to think about that, but you know, she just seems like she's doing so well, and I think we're just gonna, you know, keep on that course.
Great, good. So what I heard as we had this discussion, I think I heard one thing that is a big concern to you, and that's about the daycare situation, especially being careful that she doesn't catch illnesses, and I'm sure that's a worry. So I thought it was something that you might want to look into or that I can help you with, and that would be, I do know of another doctor in our practice who has a patient who's received a heart transplant also, and that family might be able to help you out with some guidelines on what to look for with a daycare or what they've been through. And if you're okay with that, I could contact that doctor and then get back in touch with you.
That would be great.
And then maybe that family can talk with you, and that might help.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Okay.
Thank
well,
you.
I'll look into that. And then the other thing is for you to maybe talk to the people in Boston, the transplant team, and they sometimes have some really good ideas about some guidelines again that you can use to maybe when you're looking for the daycare.
Okay.
Great.
That sounds good.
Good. I'd like to share this information that I gathered today with your healthcare team. That would involve the folks in Boston, the transplant team, as well as the cardiologist locally. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah.
Good, okay. And I'd like to check in with you in a few days just to see how things are, since sometimes these things bring up more emotions for you or ideas, and I just would want to check in.
Okay. Thank you.
Great, good. Well, thanks again for coming. I know, again, it was hard to get over here, but I'm glad we got together, and we're in this together.
Thank you.